Wake up, it's a brand new day. No excuses, no delay. Get up on your grind, we ain't here to play. Turn it up loud, let me hear you say. Mell in the morning, turn it up right now. News vibes, real talk, we live right now. If you're trying to win, then you in the right place. Kickstart your day, get into this space. Hey. From the culture to the truth, yeah, we bring it all. Motivation in your spirit, watch you stand tall. Butterfly effect, yeah, we rise, we evolve. Step into your power, it's your time to ball. Mell morning, kickstart, we live. Let's go, let's go. Feel that energy rise, let it take control. Start your day right, yeah, you already know. Mell morning, kickstart. Let's go!
Hello, everyone. Grand rising, and good day, my kings and queens and family here in the States and across the globe. Welcome back to Mell B's Morning Kickstart. Yeah, I'm your girl, Mell B, and it's Monday, March 30th, and we made it another day, y'all. So that alone, that's a blessing. Whether you're waking up, winding down, or stepping into your rhythm, I'm sending love, light, and gratitude to everyone tuning in from near and far. So it's a new week, new opportunities. So let's get into it. All right, let's hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm flying solo today. All right. So our morning affirmation. I'm disciplined, I'm focused, and not letting distractions play with my purpose. Discipline is what separates people who talk about it from people who actually do it. So today we execute, period. All right, on to our word of the day. Our word of the day today is resilience. The word is resilient. So that means the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. Oh my gosh, nobody wants you until you get online, right? Anywho, so resilience it means the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. In philosophy, resilience is considered a learned behavior, meaning you can build it over time through experience and mindset. Basically, life can hit you, but you don't have to stay down. And if you're still standing after everything you've been through, you are already resilient. All right, on to our urban slang word of the day. This is one that keeps popping up in social media. It's delulu. So it means being delusional, believing something that clearly ain't reality. So an example, she ain't about to change, girl. She delulu. So listen, we're not going to be delulu today. All right, on to our U.S. and global news. News around the world. First up, we got U.S. national headlines. First up, TSA, pay restoration begins today. Following a record 44-day partial government shutdown, the Department of Homeland Security announced that TSA agents are scheduled to begin receiving their back pay today. Next, we got AI tax filing warning. Federal consumer protection agencies issued a high-level alert this morning as data shows 1 in 4 Americans are using AI to file their taxes. Experts warned that tools are currently producing significant errors in 2026 tax code applications. And third, No Kings protest national wave. After a weekend that saw millions march in cities like Charlotte, Atlanta, Milwaukee, organizers are calling for a continued Monday stand against recent executive branch expansion efforts. All right, on to our city by city news. New York. New York's Department of Education is launching a new digital literacy curriculum in public schools today, aimed at teaching students to identify AI-generated misinformation. And New York's event of the day is the Vince Giardino and the Nighthawks, a live 1920s era jazz and big band performance at the Birdland Theater at 5:30 p.m. tonight. LA, Grand Rising. City officials are expanding the urban forest initiative today, planting the first of 5,000 heat-resistant trees to combat heat island effects in downtown LA. LA's event for the day is the Desano Gardens Tulip Blossom, the peak viewing day for over 35 blossoming tulips in La Hacienda, Flint Ridge. Chicago. The Art Institute of Chicago is hosting a special panel today on the future of museums in the era of digital-only art acquisitions. Evening, their event for the day there in Chicago is the Garfield Park Conservatory Spring Flower Show, featuring shows of flowers, which is a massive aerial floral installation. Reservations are required for that show. Atlanta. Metro Atlanta leaders are unveiling a new living infrastructure Palantir hub today, turning unused city lots into sustained meadows for local wildlife. Atlanta's event of the day is the Extraordinary Life of the Dalai Lama, an illuminated journey exposition opens today at the Oglethorpe University Museum of Art. In Houston, good morning, Houston. Mayor Whitmire is holding a briefing today on the next $2.3 billion phase of the George R. Brown Convention Center expansion, which is being funded by the state revenue rather than local taxpayers. Houston's event of the day is Cheerleading National Championship Legacy Exhibit, a community showcase celebrating Houston's long-term hosting agreement with the NCA. Washington, D.C. The Smithsonian announced a major digital archive project today to preserve 21st century social media movements as part of the National Museum of American History. Washington, D.C.'s event of the day is the National Portrait Gallery, The Art of Diplomacy, a lunchtime public lecture discussing the visual history of international relations. Miami. City planners are reviewing floating neighborhood zoning laws today as a long-term response to rising sea levels in the Biscayne Bay area. And Miami's event of the day is the original Miami Beach Antique Show, the final day of one of the world's largest collections of vintage jewelry and art at the convention center. Tampa. Port Tampa Bay is launching a new green maritime initiative today, rewarding shipping companies that use low-emission fuels with reduced docking fees. Tampa's event of the day is the Hillsborough Community Garden Forum, a public meeting at the Jan K. Platt Library at 6:30 p.m. regarding new urban farming grants. Newport Richey. Good morning, Dad. The Main Street pedestrian pilot enters its second week today. Local businesses are reporting 20% increase in foot traffic since car restrictions began. Newport Richey's event of the day is the Silver Sneakers Boom Muscle, a popular community fitness and strength building session at the NPR Recreation and Aquatics Center. Milwaukee. Good morning, fam. Following the No Kings rally in Shorewood, city leaders are hosting a town hall today to discuss civil discourse and public assembly safety. Milwaukee's event today is the Wisconsin Fish Fry Traditions Exposition, a public history community tasting and event at the public market at 5:30 p.m. tonight. Jackson, Mississippi. Good morning. State legislatures are debating a bill today that will provide permanent funding for the Mississippi Music Heritage Trail to boost cultural tourism. Jackson's event of the day is the Founders Square Community Fair, a gathering featuring local artisans and storytellers celebrating the history of the Pearl River. Charlotte. Good morning, Charlotte. Charlotte's, North Carolina. Charlotte's Transit Authority is unveiling a 2030 rail expansion plan today, which includes a new high-speed link to the growing suburban hubs. Charlotte's community event today is Lady Gaga's 2026, The Legacy Exhibit, a pop culture showcase highlighting the artist's impact on modern performance art. Vancouver. The BC Ministry of Technology is testing a smart transit biometric payment system today at select SkyTrans stations. Vancouver's event of the day is the Professional Networking Night, a community gathering for independent business owners and remote workers at Denny's on Davie Street late night tonight. In Toronto, Toronto's Open Data Initiative is releasing its quarterly report today, showing a massive increase in neighborhood-led community safety programs. Toronto's community event today is the Bentway Moonlight Skate, a special late-season community skate event under the Gardiner Expressway. Jamaica, bless up everyone in Jamaica this morning. Kingston, ongoing discussions regarding climate justice are just being held at the University of West Indies today, following the long-term recovery efforts from Hurricane Melissa. Kingston's community event today is the Dub Club Mondays, a weekly cultural and musical gathering featuring live vinyl sets at the Kingston Dub Club. Montego Bay, St. James Municipal Corporation is reviewing new resort area safety standards today to prepare for the peak April travel season. Montego Bay's event of the day is the Spring Break 2026 Pier 1 Social, a community-focused meet and greet for local vendors and tourism ambassadors. Ocho Rios, local environmental groups are meeting today to finalize the St. Anne's Reef Protection Zone, restricting motorized watercraft in sensitive coral areas. Ocho Rios community event today is the Plantation Cove Artesian Market, a weekly showcase of local crafts, food, and handmade goods. Negril, the Westmoreland Parish Council is debuting the Negril Cliffside Sustainability Plan today to regulate new eco-resort constructions. Negril's event of the day is the Roots Bamboo Community Sunset, a gathering of local artists and musicians to mark the end of the month. Cayman Islands, Grand Rising. The Ministry of Health is launching a new women's wellness digital portal today to provide 24/7 access to preventive health resources. Cayman Islands community event today is DG's 5K Challenge, a major community run and walk starting in Grand Cayman to support local charities. Nassau, Bahamas. Bahamian labor leaders are calling for new local hire mandates today to ensure more citizens are trained for technical roles in the maritime sector. Nassau's event of the day is the Bahamas Investment Forum, a public session at the Baha Mar Convention Center focusing on domestic entrepreneurship. Nigeria, Grand Rising. Nigeria's Federal Ministry of Communications is launching a Superpower Quest initiative today, aimed at positioning the nation as Africa's primary AI research hub. Nigeria's event of the day is the Imoimi Youth Skills Workshop, a launch of a new training phase for technology and trade skills at Akwa Ibom. Ghana, Parliament is debating the Art House the Art House Innovation Bill today, which will provide tax credits for digital game developers and animators in Accra. Ghana's community event today is the Playful Oxkura Residency, a community showcase of Ghana's emerging indie game designers at National Theatre. Netherlands, good morning. The Rayskin Museum is debuting a first-of-its-kind Vermeer digital twin exhibit today, allowing visitors to explore the artist's studio via virtual reality. The Netherlands community event today is the Kooikenhof Gardens Opening Week, the world's largest flower garden in Lisa, celebrating its peak early bloom season. France, Quai Paris. The Paris Car-Free Sunday data released today shows a 40% reduction in local noise, pollution, and prompting debates on making the initiative permanent. France's event today is the Renoir and Love, a major exhibit opening at the Musée d'Orsay, featuring 90 seminal works by the Impressionist master. Germany. Berlin's new science data center officially breaks ground today, intended to be the backbone for Germany's Ata-Mumas research. Germany's event today is the Berlin Half Marathon preparation, community training runs, and public safety briefings ahead of the weekend's citywide race. India, good morning, everyone, and thank you for watching. Thousands are gathering at the riverfronts across India today for Masi Magum, holy dips, marking a significant cultural and spiritual alignment. India's event of the day is the Holika Dahan Prep. Local communities are setting up traditional bonfires today in preparation for the upcoming Holi festivals. And Vietnam. Hanoi is debuting a smart lake monitoring program today using underwater sensors to track water quality and fish health in Kiem Lake. Vietnam's event of the day is the Old Quarter Spring Lantern Walk, a community celebration featuring traditional music and handmade lanterns in the historic district. Woo! That was the news. All right, y'all, on to our weather this morning. Byways and the highways. All right, starting with New York. Today there will be a high of 54 and a low of 51 and partly cloudy. LA, sunny with a high of 69 and a low of 52. Chicago, mostly cloudy with a high of 48 and a low of 36. Atlanta, sunny with a high of 66 and a low of 45. Houston, partly cloudy with a high of 77 and a low of 62. Washington, D.C., sunny with a high of 58 and a low of 42. Miami, scattered showers today with a high of 79 and a low of 71. Tampa, mostly sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 66. Newport Richey, sunny with a high of 81 and a low of 64. Milwaukee, cloudy with a high of 44 and a low of 34. 34. High of 44 and a low of 34. Jackson, Mississippi, sunny with a high of 71 and a low of 52. Charlotte, sunny with a high of 64 and a low of 40. Vancouver, showers today with a high of 52 and a low of 41. Toronto, mostly cloudy with a high of 43 and a low of 32. Kingston, sunny with a high of 86 and a low of 75. Montego Bay, sunny with a high of 85 and a low of 74. Ocho Rios, sunny with a high of 84 and a low of 73. Negril, sunny with a high of 85 and a low of 76. Cayman Islands, partly cloudy with a high of 83 and a low of 78. Nassau, Bahamas, sunny with a high of 80 and a low of 72. Nigeria, scattered thunderstorms today with a high of 91 and a low of 79. Ghana, Accra, mostly cloudy with a high of 89 and a low of 80. Netherlands, Amsterdam, light rain today with a high of 54 and a low of 43. Paris, cloudy with a high of 59 and a low of 45. And Berlin, partly cloudy with a high of 55 and a low of 39. India, New Delhi, sunny with a high of 93 and a low of 68. And Vietnam, sunny, mostly sunny with a high of 95 and a low of 77. All right, sports fans, on to our sports. In the NBA last night, we have the scores. It was the Clippers over the Bucks, 127 to 113. The Pacers over the Heat, 135 to 118. The Nets over the Kings, 116 to 99. The Raptors over the Magic, 139 to 87. The Trailblazers over the Wizards, 123 to 88. The Celtics over the Hornets, 114 to 99. The Rockets over the Pelicans, 134 to 102. The Thunder over the Knicks, 111 to 100. The Nuggets over the Warriors, 116 to 93. And with March Madness, we had the men's tournament. It was Michigan over Tennessee, 95 to 62. Michigan advances to the Final Four. We have UConn over Duke, close game, 73 to 72. And UConn advances to the Final Four. In the women's tournament, we have UConn over Notre Dame, 70 to 52. UConn advances to the Final Four. And we have UCLA over Duke, 70 to 58. UCLA advances to the Final Four. Congratulations. In Major League Baseball, we have the Orioles over the Twins, 8 to 6. The Rangers over the Phillies, 8 to 3. The Royals over the Braves, 4 to 1. The Blue Jays over the Athletics, 5 to 2. The Pirates over the Nets, 4 to 3. The Reds over the Red Sox, 33 to 2. The Marlins over the Rockies, 4 to 3. The Brewers, what? Over the White Sox, 9-7. The Astros over the Angels, 9-7. We have the Rays over the Cardinals, 11-7. We had the Nationals over the Cubs, 6-3, and the Mariners over the Guardians, 8-0. In the Jamaican soccer, we had Montego Bay United over Cavalier, 3-1. Dunbeholden over Portmore United, 2-1. And Trevoli Gardens over Harborview, 3-2. And the Maroons over Molines was actually a draw at 2. Now in sports today, we had in March Madness, the Women's Elite 8. The final 2 spots for the Women's Final 4 will be decided tonight on the big stage. We have Texas and Michigan will be at 6 p.m. on ESPN and ESPN Plus. And then we have South Carolina and TCU at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN and ESPN Plus. The men's tournament is currently on a travel break. The Final 4 begins April 4th. In the NBA, we have the 76ers and the Heat tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBC Sports and NBA League Pass. We have the Celtics and the Hawks at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time on NBA League Pass and FanDuel. We have the Bulls and the Spurs at 7 p.m. On NBA League Pass and also FanDuel. We have the Suns and the Grizzlies are at 7 on NBA League Pass and FanDuel. We have Timberwolves and the Mavericks at 7:30 p.m. on NBA Pass and WFAA. We have the Cavaliers and the Jazz. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. On NBA League Pass and KJZZ. The Pistons and the Thunder will be at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, NBA League Pass and Bally Sports. And the Wizards and the Lakers will be at 9 p.m. on NBA League Pass and Spectrum Sportsnet. And the Warriors and the Nuggets will be at 10 on Sling TV and NBA TV. In baseball, we got the Rockies and the Blue Jays will be at 7:07 on Sportsnet and MBO.TV. We have the Athletics and the Braves will be at 7:20 on Bally Sports South and MLB TV. And we also have the Red Sox and the Astros will be at 8:10 p.m. on Space City Home Network and NESN. And in Jamaica soccer, we have the Racing United will be versus Treasure Beach at 3 p.m. On Sportsmax, we have Arnett Gardens and Mount Pleasant at 5:30 p.m. on Sportsmax. And then we have Waterhouse and Spanish Town will be at 6 p.m. on Sportsmax. Now it's time for Tay's Sport Fact of the Day. Through the NBA. So, did you know Muggsy Bogues is the shortest player in NBA history, and he only stands at 5'3". And despite his height, he played 14 seasons and was known for his speed and defense. Ain't that something? So that's Tay's Sports Fact, because Tay says so. All right, y'all, on to our daily feature today, which is Motivational Monday. Our spotlight today is how to keep going when life tries to pull you down. Life has a way of testing you right when you think you're finally catching your breath. And here's the truth. Feeling overwhelmed doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. But there's science-backed ways to keep going even when life is pulling at you from every direction. Psychologists call it the resilience stacking. Remember, that's our word for the day, resilience. It's the practice of building small, repeatable habits that strengthen your ability to bounce back. Not giant leaps, tiny anchors. Things like taking a 60-minute breathing break, doing one task at a time instead of trying to do 10, reaching out to one supportive person, and drinking water before you react. That helps calm you down. These micro actions calm the nervous system and shift your brain out of survival mode. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that people who practice small, consistent coping strategies recover faster from stress than people who try to power through everything alone. Another tool is called reframing. Not toxic positivity reframing. It means acknowledging the struggle, but choosing a perspective that empowers you. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Try saying, what is this moment trying to teach me? That shift alone can change your entire emotional temperature. And finally, remember this: rest is not quitting. Sometimes the most powerful ways to keep going is to pause, breathe, and come back with clarity instead of chaos. So you're not failing, you're fighting. And every step you take, even the slow ones, is proof that you're building the life that you're walking into. Ashe. All right, on to our book club. I have a surprise for my sister because she's been telling me about this book. So I decided, well, let's try to go through it this week. The book is titled Who Moved the Cheese by Spencer Johnson. So it's a simple story with a big message about how to deal with change. The book begins with at a class reunion where everybody admits the same thing. Hold on, y'all. I done forgot to move my little tickers to tell y'all where we at. So we are on the book club. All right. Let me continue. The book begins at a class reunion where everybody admits the same thing. Life keeps shifting, and most of us don't shift with it. Jobs change, relationships change, money changes, and sometimes we're the last ones to admit it. So one classmate named Michael shares a story that he helped stop fighting change and started just flowing with it. And that's the energy we're stepping into this week, learning how to stop clinging to what used to work and start preparing for what's next. So your takeaway today is change is not the enemy. Denial is. Reflection for today is, where in your life have you been resisting a change you already know is happening? So think about that and move accordingly. All right, we're moving right along. All right, to our cause of the day. Our cause of the day is lupus. Lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease where the immune system, which is supposed to protect the body, mistakenly attacks healthy tissues and organs. This can affect the skin, joints, kidneys, brain, and other organs, making it a complex and unpredictable condition. According to the Centers for Control and Prevention, lupus disproportionately affects women, especially African American women, who are 2 to 3 times more likely to develop it than Caucasian women. Symptoms can vary widely, but commonly include extreme fatigue, joint pain, swelling, skin rashes, particularly butterfly-shaped rash across the face, and sensitivity to light. Lupus is known for something called flares, where symptoms simply worsen, often triggered by stress, illness, or environmental factors. While there is currently no cure for lupus, treatment focuses on mainly managing the symptoms through medication, lifestyle changes, and regular medical care. Early diagnosis is important because untreated lupus can lead to serious complications, especially involving the kidneys and the cardiovascular system. So for more information, visit the Lupus Foundation of America. And remember, some people like me are fighting battles you can't see. So lead with understanding. All right, on to Mr. Evans' favorite topic is our history section. So today in history, let's talk about it. First up, in 1867, the United States purchased Alaska from Russia for $7.2 million. At the time, most thought it was a bad deal, but later proved valuable due to natural resources like oil and gold. Next, in 1964, Jeopardy, remember the game, aired for the first time on television, becoming one of the most iconic game shows in American history. And last, in 1981, President Ronald Reagan survived an assassination attempt, an event that shocked the nation and led to increased presidential security measures. So that's today, what happened today in history. Now, on to African American history. Today, I spotlight Madam C.J. Walker. Today, we honor her. She was the first self-made female millionaire in America. She built her wealth through hair care products specifically designed for Black women. But what made her impact powerful is that she created opportunities for thousands of other Black women to become financially independent. And her legacy still influences Black entrepreneurship today. All right, on to our African American scientists and inventors. Today we spotlight Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan, an inventor and entrepreneur. He is best known for improving and patenting the modern traffic signal, introducing the 3-light system we still use today. Before his design, traffic signals were much more dangerous and confusing. His invention helped reduce accidents and improve road safety across the world. So every time you stop at a red light, you're seeing his impact in real time. All right, y'all, on to our Back to Roots section, where we are spotlighting today the lost civilizations and unsolved mysteries. Today, we spotlight the lost kingdom of Punt. Today, we're traveling back over 4,000 years to explore one of Africa's most mysterious civilizations, the Kingdom of Punt, known to the ancient Egyptians as the land of the gods. Punt was so sacred, so spiritually important, that Egyptians believed their own ancestors came from there. But here's the twist. We still don't know exactly where Punt was located. Egyptians record, Egyptian records describe Punt as lush, wealthy land filled with gold, ebony, myrrh, frankincense, leopard skins, and exotic animals. Queen Hatshepsut's famous exposition carved into the walls of her temple at Dar el-Bahri shows detailed images of Punt's people, their homes on stilts, and their sacred incense trees. These carvings are some of the earliest depictions of African trade partners in world history. Most scholars believe Punt was somewhere along the Horn of Africa, possibly by Eritrea, Ethiopia, or Somalia. Others argue it may have stretched across the Red Sea into Arabia, but no archaeological site has ever been confirmed. What makes Punt so fascinating is the level of respect Egypt had for it. They didn't treat Punt like a colony or a conquest. They treated it like an equal, a spiritual sibling, a place of origin. The mystery of Punt reminds us that Africa's ancient civilizations were connected through trade, diplomacy, and shared spiritual traditions long before Europe even came into the picture. Punt is a symbol of African wealth, maritime mastery, and ancestral memory, a reminder that some of our great stories are still waiting to be uncovered. Yes. All right, moving on to Down the Rabbit Hole. Today we are featuring, we're diving into one of the most infamous bottles of water in America, Lake Lanier, a place wrapped in tragedy, folklore, and unanswered questions. Lake Lanier was created in the 1950s when the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers flooded the region to build a reservoir. But here's the part people don't talk about. The land they flooded included entire towns, farmlands, cemeteries, and a once thriving Black community called Oscarville. Oscarville was destroyed after racial violence in 1912 forced Black residents out. Decades later, the land was submerged under millions of gallons of water. Buildings, roads, and remnants of the town still sit at the bottom of that lake. Since its creation, Lake Lanier has been linked to hundreds of deaths, boating accidents, drownings, and unexplained disappearances. Some blame poor visibility and underwater debris. Others believe the lake was never meant to be inhabited, that disturbing the land and its history created an energy people still can feel but can't explain. Divers report eerie encounters, intact structures, old cemeteries, and ghostly silence beneath the surface. Locals say the lake pulls, that has a presence, a heaviness. Is it cursed? Is it haunted? Or simply dangerous because of the lies beneath? But undeniable, Lake Lanier is a modern lake built on top of an erased community, and history has a way of rising underwater. All right, on to fact or fiction. Today, first up, we have Atlantis was a real ancient civilization. The legend of Atlantis comes from the Greek philosopher Plato, who wrote about a powerful island nation that sank into the sea around 9,000 years before his time. For centuries, people have searched for it, from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean to the Antarctic. But here's the truth. Plato never claimed Atlantis was a historical record. He used it as an allegory, a moral story about greed, corruption, and the fall of empires. No archaeological evidence has ever been confirmed Atlantis existed as a real civilization. But here's where the mystery deepens. Some researchers believe Plato may have been inspired by real events, like the volcanic destruction of Thera, modern-day Santorini, which wiped out the Minoan civilization around 1600 BCE. So, is this fact or fiction? Well, the internet says it's fiction, but possibly inspired by real ancient stories. Next up, we have Matilda McCurr, the last survivor of the transatlantic slave trade. Matilda was taken from West Africa at age 2 aboard the Clotilda, the last known slave ship to enter the United States in 1860. For decades, people believed the last survivor was Cujo Lewis, but new research revealed that Matilda lived until 1940, making her the final known survivor. She spent her life in Alabama, never receiving reparations, never being publicly acknowledged, and never forgetting where she came from. Her story resurfaced only recently through historical investigation. So is this fact or fiction? It is fact. Matilda McCurr was the last known survivor of the Clotilda. Hopefully I'm saying that right. All right, on to our tech tip of the day, which is must-have apps week. So today, our app we must have is called Toady, a smart cleaning organizer. Today's tip is all about taking the stress out of home management app with an app called Toady, a smart cleaning organizer that turns your household chores into a simple visual system. Toady lets you track every cleaning task in your home, from the kitchen counters to the baseboards to organizing, room by room, frequency and priority. Instead of guessing when something was last cleaned, Toady shows you a color-coded timeline that tells you exactly what needs attention. So why it helps? It reduces mental load, helps you stay consistent with your cleaning efforts, maintains makes deep cleaning less overwhelming, and great for families, roommates, and busy professionals. You can assign tasks, set reminders, even make a game out of cleaning by showing a dirty task is getting over time. It's like having a personal home care assistant right in your pocket. So if you're trying to keep your home running smoothly without the chaos, Toady is the one of the most useful apps you can download. All right, on to our finance tip of the day. Know your wealth baseline. Today, we begin our generational wealth series with the foundation, knowing your wealth baseline. You cannot build generational wealth if you don't know where you're starting. So your baseline should include your income, your debts, your assets, your spending habits, your credit score, and your net worth. Most people know their paycheck, but not their net worth. And that's the real measure of wealth. So net worth equals what you own minus what you owe. So generational wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, how much you grow, and how much you can pass down. So today, these are the actions you should take. 1, list every debt, your credit cards, your loans, medical bills, everything. 2, list every asset you have, your savings, your retirement accounts, property, business equipment, even valuable items. 3, calculate your net worth. 4, set a goal to increase it by a significant amount each year. This is your starting line. You can't build a legacy if you don't know the blueprint. And today, you just drew your first line. So do that today. All right, on to our fun fact of the day. Fun fact of the day is the first viral dance challenge started in the Black community in 1981. So before TikTok, before YouTube, before the internet, the first nationwide dance craze came from Black culture. The electric slide, created by choreographer Rick Silver, spread across the country through Black family reunions, cookouts, and skating rinks long before mainstream America even caught on. So it became one of the earliest examples of dancing going viral without a social media platform. Black joy has always been the blueprint. Yeah. All right, our fun holiday of the day is so-called National Pencil Day. So this day recognizes the humble pencil, which has been one of the most useful writing tools in history. National Day calendar lists National Pencil Day as today, and the modern pencil became possible after the discovery of a large graphite deposit in England in the 1500s. Over time, pencils became essential for writing, drawing, architecture, classrooms, and everyday note-taking. What makes the pencil so dope is that it reminds us not everything has to be permanent on the first try. You can make a mistake, erase it, and keep going. So today, whether you're writing a to-do list, sketching out an idea, or just trying to get your life together one note at a time, shout out to the pencil. Old school, but still getting the job done. All right, on to our daily quote of the day. It comes from Felicia Rashad, and I quote, "Before a child talks, they sing. Before they write, they draw. And as soon as they stand, they dance." End quote. Felicia Rashad reminds us that creativity is our first language. Before the world teaches us rules, we express ourselves naturally through movement, color, and sound. This quote is the call to reconnect with the joy we had before we learned fear. So Felicia Rashad said, "Before a child talks, they sing. Today, tap back into the natural creativity you were born with." All right, on to our music and entertainment. First up, Beyonce continues to dominate the global stage, with her recent projects reinforcing her influence across music, fashion, and film. She remains one of the highest grossing tourist artists in the world, showing how live performances still are a major force in the industry. Next, Usher has been seen as a major resurgent following his Las Vegas residency and high-profile performances. His catalog streams have significantly increased, proving the power of legacy artists in today's digital era. And last, streaming platforms continue to reshape how artists release music, with more artists choosing independent releases, giving them greater control over ownership and profits. That's a major shift in the business side of music, that's for sure. All right, on to the tea and truth celebrity gossip. All right, so first up, Jonathan Mayers continues working to rebuild his career following recent legal challenges. Industry conversations are now centered around accountability, reputation, and whether audiences are willing to separate personal issues from professional work. Now, that's definitely something we have to watch. Moving on, Keke Palmer continues expanding her presence across film, television, and digital media, showing how versatility plays a major role in longevity. And lastly, celebrity branding is becoming just as important as talent. With more public figures building businesses and platforms beyond entertainment, that's a shift worth paying attention to. All right, and we have a celebrity birthday today. MC Hammer turned 63, a hip hop legend known for his hits like "You Can't Touch This" and one of the first artists to bring rap into mainstream global success. And also, Miss Celine Dion turns 57, known for her powerful vocals and timeless classics. Happy birthday to them. All right, moving on to our lifestyle segment. Today, our soul food recipe today is oven baked chicken. Instead of frying, baking reduces excess saturated fat while still giving you some flavor. Season your chicken. I'm going to say that again. Season your chicken with garlic powder, paprika, black pepper, and a little olive oil. Then bake it at 375 for about 35 to 45 minutes, and you will get a crispy texture just without all the grease. And our beverage of the day to complement that is lemon water, rich in vitamin C and supports hydration and digestion. Drinking it in the morning can help kickstart your metabolism. All right, man, you know I'm getting ready to get on you. It's your health tip time. So have you made those doctor's appointments? Have you been to the doctor? How about that annual exam? You need to go to the doctor. And everyone that has a man in their life, please check on them and make sure they have done that, because I'm quite sure a lot of them haven't. They just go to the doctor when they feel something. No, you need to go to the doctor to get that checkup, no matter what. So regular checkups matter. High blood pressure often has no symptoms, men. So getting it checked can prevent serious health issues. All right, women. Women, our iron levels are important, especially for energy. Low iron can lead to fatigue and weakness. So make sure you're getting enough through your food or supplements if you need it. All right, ladies, our auto mechanics class 101 today is checking your oil. Today's tip means pay attention. We have to do this. We have to learn how to do this, because low or dirty oil can change and damage your engine. It only takes 2 minutes and it can save you thousands of dollars. So make sure you learn how to do that. All right, our household chore of the day is clean refrigerator shelves. Use warm water and baking soda to remove odors and bacteria. And our relationship tip of the day, communication only works when both people are listening, not just waiting to respond. So listen, learn to, not selective listening, but attentive listening. All right, on to our Before They Were Legends. Our spotlight today is Miss Ruby Dee. Before the world knew her as a civil rights warrior, award-winning actress Ruby Dee was a young girl from Harlem with a library card, a dream, and a voice she didn't yet know would change the world. She started as a script reader and stage understudy, often fighting for roles that portrayed Black women with dignity at a time when Hollywood refused to see our few humanity. Her early activism, marching, speaking, and organizing wasn't a side mission. It was the foundation of her artistry. Miss Ruby Dee didn't just perform stories, she protected them, preserved them, and pushed them forward for generations to come. All right, last but not least, our daily horoscopes. As we always start with Aries. Aries, stay focused and finish what you start today. Discipline brings results. Your lucky numbers for today are 3, 11, and 27. Taurus, protect your peace. Don't let small things throw you off. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 14, and 22. Gemini, speak clearly and avoid misunderstandings. Communication is key. Your lucky numbers today are 5, 19, and 28. Cancer, take time to reset emotionally. Your energy matters. Your lucky numbers today are 2, 10, and 21. Leo, step up and lead. Your confidence is needed today. Your lucky numbers today are 1, 9, and 18. Virgo, get organized. Structure brings clarity. Your lucky numbers today are 4, 12, and 20. Libra, balance your time wisely. Don't overcommit. Your lucky numbers today are 7, 16, and 25. Scorpio, trust your instincts. They won't lead you wrong. Your lucky numbers today are 8, 17, and 26. Sagittarius, Stay locked into your goals. Avoid distractions. Your lucky numbers today are 9, 15, and 24. Capricorn, stay consistent. Your hard work is paying off. Your lucky numbers today are 10, 13, and 30. Aquarius, think differently. Your ideas can solve problems today. Your lucky numbers are 11, 23, and 29. And Pisces, protect your energy. Don't absorb negativity. Your lucky numbers today are 2, 14, and 19. All right, everyone, on tomorrow's show, before we get out of here, tomorrow will be Tell Me Something Good Tuesday. I've got some powerful, positive stories lined up, real people doing real things. Plus, we're continuing our book club with Who Moved My Cheese and talking about comfort zones. So you don't want to miss that. All right. And now it's time to shout out some very important people, our VIPs, our sponsors. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to all of Lux Radio sponsors, Bellow Burn Hot Sauce, RAS Herbals, and excuse me, I'm tongue-tied right now. Colorane Candles, excuse me. And a special shout out to Capital City Mambo Sauce, the official wing sauce of DC. Also, Universal Madness and Steakville Bar and Grill in Jamaica. And of course, I like to give a special thank you to each and every one of you tuning in and supporting. I appreciate you. All right, that's all for today, everyone. I hope you heard something today that you can take with you, not just listen to, but actually apply. Whether it's a word, a lesson, or just a reminder, use it. Stay focused, protect your peace, and move with purpose in everything you do. Until tomorrow morning, kings and queens, this is your girl, Mel B. And remember, keep emerging, keep evolving, and keep elevating. Period. Talk to y'all tomorrow.